Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the All Round Coaching podcast. We are going to go over some little nuggets today. I'm going to call them little nuggets because we plan on doing 10 to 12 minute podcasts just so people can take some information away, and hopefully it is going to be useful to people out there. If not, then it's just for our benefit.
Yeah, hopefully you'll get a few shorter episodes and a couple of meatier ones. So yeah.
So we're going to go, I've just said fitness for life. It's obviously covering longevity, looking after your health, and it isn't just something that is done in the short term. But speaking of life, we will give some updates on ours because obviously people seem more interested in that.
I think after the big blow up of the outing, obviously we've not really shared much to do with us, what's going on. Since we last spoke, Claire's basically been living here for the past 3 months, really. So, but yeah, you've moved in now, haven't you? The suitcases have come.
Yeah, Laura was made up when I moved in because it meant I didn't stay at Laura's as much. She knows that obviously once I get comfortable somewhere, I just don't leave. And obviously for you, I just never left.
Yeah, you did warn me, to be fair.
Once you invite me in, that's it.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice to have you here. It's nice to, you've made us pancakes this morning, so I can't complain.
I did. We are proper little cute couple at the minute, so I've took in the nurturing, mothering role, doing the washing, making some pancakes.
No, she's hanging the washing up outside. She's hoovering. I thought you might have scratched my floor the other day.
I didn't, by the way.
No, it's just me being anal Monica. And we've also booked a holiday.
Yes, it's going to be our first actual full all-inclusive sunny holiday.
An actual couple holiday, aside from Paris.
I mean, people thought it was a little lesbian trip when we did go to Paris anyway. We denied this.
And it actually wasn't a lesbian trip.
It wasn't, but yeah, I think, well, there was things there.
The romance of Paris got us started.
It was that romantic meal in front of the Eiffel Tower, wasn't it? And then me shouting at you for not getting a picture of me.
Yeah, I was close into whacking you on that night.
We survived it. If you could survive that, then that's it now.
Yeah, there you go. Eiffel Tower gate.
Oh, no, it was great. So, yes, we will now carry on with the podcast.
Without further ado.
I'm not saying further ado anymore because I say further ado and it gets picked up on.
Oh,
people make fun of it. So, yeah. Fitness for life, a little bit of longevity. It isn't just, I know obviously I have created 42 Elite, but my method behind this was, one, it allowed people to work with me that may not be able to afford the full coaching. And two, it allows people to see what they can achieve in 6 weeks and building them habits. Because if you're consistent with something over 6 weeks, you're more likely to sustain that and build on them habits. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think sometimes you just need to, we talked about this a few times, you just need to get started, don't you?
Yeah.
But how do you feel in terms of those 6 weeks, in terms of establishing, I suppose, habits and getting people started? I guess because obviously we talked previously about that 3 months, like how do those 6 weeks, are they just kind of like a starter? Just, I think, just showing people what they can do in that period of time, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the first launch of 42 Elites, after getting all the testimonials back, we have completed that now. And one of the common things that we're all picking up on is they actually built some habits. They were more mindful when they were eating, and it's things that they are going to continue. And obviously some guys did stay on, or they continued using the app and obviously having access to that. So they have now still continued and they've took quite a lot away from it, and obviously they hopefully will maintain that now going forward.
How did you find with the check-ins for those guys? Because obviously you did a few over the course of the 6 weeks. Did you see a difference in some people?
Yeah, a couple of the guys lost over half a stone. Obviously they noticed that people had more energy, they were playing with the kids more, and they generally felt happier. Just being that little bit more active rather than sedentary, getting up late, eating probably takeaways and drinking alcohol more often. They generally felt better for it, and I think it opened their eyes to not just the nutrition quality, but obviously the portion controls within that as well.
And did you find that there was anything in particular with that, I suppose, that group of people that stood out? Like, I know that obviously you launched the app for your main core team before the 42 Elite started. Like, I think the daily tracker was something that a lot of people commented on when they first started.
Yeah, so this is something, if we can continue with daily habits, it is going to stick. So obviously on some of mine, it's like your wake up time, you go to bed time, getting your protein in, spreading it obviously throughout the day, your walking, which is obviously getting your steps in, and then your exercise. So the more ticks that you see, because it is a tick or an X, the more it does motivate you. So if you see them ticks, you are likely to continue, and you don't think, oh, do you know what, I've missed one. Like over the week, the more ticks you see, you think, do you know what, I've actually done really well. Like 1 or 2 crosses isn't going to hinder any progress.
Yeah, and I guess that starts to form those habits then, doesn't it? Is that I've used the daily habit tracker in terms of obviously keeping track of obviously drinking 2 litres of water a day,
Yeah.
which for most people, although it doesn't sound like a lot, actually can be a big daunting thing to get a lot of water into your body when you're used to either drinking pop, coffee, teas. You know, that's always something that you go, actually, yeah, at least if I can't do anything on, you can't always have to tick all of those lists, do you?
No.
But the aim is to tick as many as you can, and obviously eventually get all of them until you form those habits then, isn't it? But yeah, sometimes it's just the simpler stuff, even within them 6 weeks, to just, at least you can get 5 or 6 of those, then you're doing more than what you were when you started.
Yeah, it's the simple things that keep you going as well. It's not about making it overly complicated. I think people, like, they always assume once they start something that is complicated. But even just getting them, it's not even small things, because obviously they lead to bigger things, don't they? It helps you progress, and obviously it is going to see them changes kick in anyway. And obviously a lot of people did enjoy actually doing the habits each day. It gave them not so much a purpose, but it did.
The little challenges throughout the day, though, aren't
Yeah.
they? It's those little wins, whether you've had a bit of a shitty day, because let's be honest, we all do.
Yeah.
Occasionally, at least you can go. Actually, you can check your app and go, yeah, I've hit my steps, or I've hit my water, I've got my water, or I've listened to a podcast today, or I've actually had 7 hours sleep, which sometimes can be a challenge for most people.
Yeah, and it makes you feel good when you start hitting them, and you feel a little bit better about yourself. So it isn't just about perfect; it's just about actually doing something and continuing that.
And do you not think it gives people a bit more of a mindful approach to why they might have been feeling a little bit shitty before they started coaching?
Yeah, so I think highlighting with the daily habit trackers, like I'll always say to people, like, it might be down to your daylight, it might be down to your sleep, because I think people think when I say daylight, they think, well, that doesn't fucking matter, but your brain needs to know when it's daytime and when it needs to be alert, and then obviously when it's nighttime. That's why I think one of the habits I've got on a lot of clients is no phone 1 hour to 2 hours before bed, because obviously once you start to see that artificial light, your brain's like, okay, it's daytime. I'm going to process all them thoughts that you've just seen on your screen, and often it is fucking scrolling through TikTok and social media. We've all done it and sat and laughed at ourselves at reels, and obviously your brain then thinks, okay, it's daytime, and then it stays awake. So yeah, that was one habit that probably I like to ingrain in people a little bit.
Yeah, I think having been with you coaching for a year now, I've only just started to get that habit down. So, and it does make a massive difference, believe me. So if you can start, but again, it goes back to the idea of that purpose of fitness for life. It's not just stuff within the gym. It's obviously habits that happen and occur throughout the day. And you know, we're not exactly saying that you have to hit every single one of those, but obviously if you're more conscious and more mindful of doing the things that are obviously going to improve your life and improve your mental state, then you know the better you're going to be, and the better of a person you're going to be anyway.
Yeah, I think mindful is a key word though, because obviously we mindfully eat, we mindfully want to do tasks. Not everything has to be so robotic and stuck in one way. So it is about being mindful when you do things and not just going through the motions at times, but actually enjoying what you do. Exercise isn't just, oh, I need to move to burn off the food that I've eaten. It isn't a punishment, but enjoy what you do and make sure it aligns with your goals. So for me, when people come with body composition, like, everybody does want to look absolutely amazing, but if it doesn't align with your goals and maybe like not your beliefs, it's harder to get there. Not impossible, but I think they do have to line up, and obviously not making sure that exercise is that punishment for just eating necessarily shitter food or lower nutrition quality.
What do you mean in terms of like beliefs? Like, what would you have already had before, like where you think, no, that's not going to work?
People that maybe can't sacrifice as much time, it doesn't make sense for them to have an extreme goal. Like, I know a lot of people come and they say, oh, they want abs, or because it is extreme to get abs for some people, like the sacrifice that you have to give. So if you're someone that's got maybe 2 kids, you're working 10-hour shifts, you're not going to be able to sacrifice that much time to go maybe the gym or the nutrition side. So it's about being a little bit more flexible and aligning obviously your goals, your beliefs with your actual lifestyle, because you're not going to flip everything 360 to get some abs. And obviously that was always a goal for mine, and I thought your happiness doesn't lie at the end of a six pack. It is generally feeling better and looking better for yourself. It just doesn't have to be as extreme as what some people think.
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. I guess with you and the clients that you have, and people come to you for different goals, different reasons, different motivations. I guess then you're trying to understand them from where that lifestyle is. I guess so right. Okay, well these are the habits that we know we can form probably pretty much straight away, and the ones that are going to take a little bit longer to get there.
Yeah, I'll always break it down, like client journey is important to me, but a lot of guys come to me, it's not just the aesthetic side, like sometimes it is building the habits, looking after the health, a little bit of nutrition, or just to generally get people moving. Not everybody is a transformation, and obviously not every transformation is sometimes worth what you might put someone through. So you'd always want to leave a client in a better place than when you started. Like, I'd never want to make anyone worse just to get them shredded.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy with that. I'm just thinking in terms of, obviously we've talked quite a bit in terms of different episodes and going forward, and how we can give people as much content where we're just obviously not rattling off what we think. So hopefully over the course of the next, 7, 8, 9 episodes, we'll get a few more people, different backgrounds, different lifestyles, different habits, so we can help you guys, hopefully, who are listening, able to kind of understand, like, it's not obviously we can give you our perspectives, but hopefully we can give you a few more perspectives as well, including some of your clients that are obviously currently with you and succeeding.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have resonated with some of the podcasts that we have put out, and the next guest that we will be having on, which is Rachel, who's my client, like her backstory is pretty interesting, so it will be worth coming back for that one, which will be out after this episode, and I can't wait to share her backstory and the news that has to come with that as well. So hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. I feel like we're getting a little bit more serious as we go on, a little bit more professional.
I know,
but no, I love doing podcasts with Mel. They're nice and easy. But if anyone does have any questions or there's any topics you want covered, get in touch. Obviously we are both friendly. Drop me a message on Instagram, or you can visit the website as well.
Visit.
I'm glad you picked that up. Thank you. But yes.
Do you want to drop in terms of what your Instagram handle is? Because obviously if somebody's come from Spotify, what would that be? Where did they find you?
Well, I put it in the little tag on Spotify, so it's at claire.windsor_. Claire without an I though. If you put an I on it, you won't find me, but I am pretty easy to find.
And I'm going to do the professional thing and just say, if you are enjoying the podcast, please give us a follow, give us a rate, and it just helps spread our voices across the internet a little bit further.
I mean, we have got to a few countries, which we're quite surprised about, and people are listening, so yeah. Give us a like, give us a share, drop us a thumb.
Yeah, just let us know that you're listening, really, that we're not just talking to an empty room.
No, but it's been great, and we will be back next week.